by no one. I'm not even drinking. It's a sad time. What am I even doing in here?
We don't even have any drinks to promote or anything. This episode's brought to you by Nondescript Tea Brand. No, it's not. I don't have a cup of tea.
It's just a sad time all round, really.
Yep. The F's in the chat for us.
For us, because we don't have anything to consume.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Implications of Phineas and Ferb podcast.
There's 365 days in a gap year, and Uni's gonna come and end it. So the once in a lifetime problem for us is to find a good way to spend it.
Making a podcast.
So we're on episode 10, officially double digits for
Season 2.
God,
And
where is the time gone? It's chugging along.
it's quite crazy that we're nearly actually at the end of 2020 as well.
Yeah, that's insane. It's been
nearly
a rough year.
over.
Come on, next year, just a little bit better, please.
All you have to do is just be okay, and I'll be happy.
I will be beyond happy. If you're not shockingly awful, I'll be having a great time. Like how we're celebrating the end of the year and it's like midway through November.
No, we're trying to. We're like,
honestly,
please,
I'm down to just
please,
skip December,
please,
just go straight to January.
No, we'll do December 1st,
yeah.
and then we'll fuck Christmas. I don't
No,
really
fuck
care that
December
much.
1st. I specifically want to do the skip on November 30th, if that's
Well,
okay with
you know what? If I get to skip being 19, that's not a huge worry. Just go from 18 to 20.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Just be like, oh, so how old are you? 18. And it's like, what? How did you do that? Oh, we skipped December 1st.
Yeah, we already skipped it. That's right. That's pretty close to what my mum does. I've told you this story, but I haven't told the listeners. Her birthday is December 16th, which is very, very close to Christmas. So she never gets time to celebrate her birthday because she's always doing stuff, you know, it's like her kids are doing exams and she's got Billy's doing dance showcase and all that stuff. So she just...
Christmas.
Yeah. So just moved her birthday 6 months. So she's just decided it's on June 16th and that's when we celebrate it. And that's my day. And
it's like the whole Queen thing because we were like, no, we want a proper public holiday, put it somewhere nice. And so they're like, oh, all right.
No, we'll move it properly. She is, yeah, she's always arguing with her siblings about whether she's gotten 6 months younger or 6 months older.
And they say older, I hope. And
yeah,
she says,
says younger. Yeah.
It'd have to be older because if you're moving it, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. You have to pay up something.
Yeah, I reckon.
Anyway, back again.
Yep. Definitely wasn't a cut there.
Nothing happened between now and the actual start of this episode.
Yep, 100%.
So on to it. Phineas and Ferb, Season 2, Episode 10. We've got, oh, there you are, Perry, and Swiss Family Phineas.
They are both fantastic episodes.
Yes, both related with Perry disappearing, which was quite funny.
This is one of the only episodes of Season 2. No, I was going to say this is one of the only episodes of Season 2 that I vividly remember watching. But no, I remember the Chronicles of Meep, and I remember Thaddeus and Thor, and there's a lot of good episodes.
This is one you remember because when we went to rewatch Phineas and Ferb, it's one we rewatched.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. It's a classic. It's got the monkey in a shower joke.
Yeah, it's very self-aware, these ones. They're like, we've got to tick some things off. We'll start doing it. Because they get to do that later on. They literally just go through episode from episode, ticking off things in the theme song and things they said they'd do. Yeah. And this is the start of that.
It's quite good. I do enjoy the theme song jokes. I think they're quite funny.
Yeah, you've got the synopsis for number one. What's up?
Number one. So, Perry is all like chilling like a cat on the boys' beds, just having a great time, having a nap,
he does
as he does.
The foot trample thing before.
Yep. Just like a cat. Very cute. Don't put a platypus in your actual bed. It'll kill you.
No, don't do it.
It will fuck you up.
It will either leave or fuck you up and then leave. Mm-hmm. And both those options aren't good. So
yeah, exactly. Don't get emotionally attached to a platypus because
that's rule number one.
People, the probably the biggest misconception about platypuses is that you'll ever see them. You have a much higher chance of seeing them on our currency than you do seeing them in person because they just don't show up.
Yeah, like they'll be at your house. You can have a pet platypus and not see it for weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Weeks at a time.
I personally haven't seen my pet platypus that I have since 2006.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if that was a reference to like being born or my dad, but I'm not sure.
There was actually, I just put a random date out because it was like after I was born, so 2002, because I'd have had to have seen him and I'd have to probably remember it.
See, I thought you were making a really clever joke, but I didn't laugh because I wasn't sure if you'd get it because that was around the same year that I never saw my dad again. So
really?
We think the platypus and the dad are like heading off together. That would work.
Your dad's a platypus.
Oh no, that's weird.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense to me. Yep, that makes sense.
Ugh. Ugh, you're a weirdo. Anyway, so he pulls off, his watch makes the noise, and he's like, oh shit, Ferb's going to hear it.
Yeah, he says those exact words on, like, out loud, audible. It's the only English words Perry says in the entire series. He looks straight in the camera. He gets that Tom Cruise grin in his cheeks, and he goes, oh shit.
Ferb's going to hear it. And he pulls away his Ferb. He pulls away his fur
on his wrist
and
looks at his
watch.
Now, have we talked about Perry's fur is clothes thing that he's got going on?
We've talked about how it's just Tom Cruise, because it is just Tom Cruise. And, like, they just keep proving it for us. Tom Cruise wearing a teal fursuit. He's moved it to look at his watch from Monogram. And then he's got to cover it up, so he eats it later.
Yep, as you do. Tom Cruise is a furry, confirmed. I'm glad that's finally the spot the podcast has come to. It's been a while, but
we've been
definitely the end
but
goal.
It's definitive now.
Yeah. So Perry goes out to go on his mission, and on the way, Candace is out getting a midnight snack, and she's getting a glass of milk, I think, glass of water, something like that.
Yeah.
And she trips over Perry. Perry nearly gets caught, and Candace has a bit of a go at him. She's like, fucking little platypus shit.
Fucking you little platypus shit. You're not wanted. Get out of here.
Get out of here, little
Get
dickhead.
out of here, you little dickhead.
She calls him a lot of words that are very inappropriate for a children's show.
She just looks directly at the camera and says, that platypus piece of shit, get out of my house.
This episode's very heavy on just like teaching the kids bad morals, you know? Like there's a lot of look straight into the camera, swear very loudly, and then return to the plot. Yeah. So she puts Perry outside. Now, as the boys reveal in the morning, never put a platypus outside. That's a lie. The boys are wrong. They're lying to you. They're teaching kids bad lessons.
No. What they actually say is everybody knows platypuses are meant to stay inside at night. Like they're meant to be inside at night. No, they're not meant to be inside at all, let alone at night.
I would argue it depends on how you define inside.
Okay.
Because if you say they're meant to be inside and you mean like not outside, then you are correct, because a platypus will stay in its burrow forever. Because we often say, if you ever see a platypus, it'll probably hurt you. That's the part. That's the little catch, isn't it?
That's the kick, yeah.
Seeing a platypus. They
don't do much. You're not going to see them.
The animals aren't evenly balanced in rarity. Like, I see kangaroos literally every day when I'm driving to work, like easy or to something other than work because I'm unemployed.
Sunset or dawn, there's a kangaroo.
Yep, kangaroo's just chilling out there. Sometimes you see a big one, you're like, whoa, that's pretty big.
You're like, he could hit.
He could
kick
he
me
could
and
knock me in the
kill
head
in one turn.
Easy, yeah. Platypus. I have seen a platypus once.
Nice.
That was at a zoo.
Oh, yep.
I've been to a platypus hole where there's known to be one living. Didn't see it because you don't see them.
No.
Not only do they live in the murkiest fucking water available,
but also they live in water.
Yeah.
Unless
they hide
you've
away.
got a pond in your house inside, he ain't meant to be there.
Yeah, exactly. So platypuses are meant to be inside, but inside a modern house with children, absolutely fucking not.
All right. So they're a bit worried because Perry's never missed breakfast. Not once has he missed breakfast. And we know he's been on night adventures before, but he always comes back. Breakfast is a thing he is there for.
Important meal of the day.
And then he misses during the day.
Do you always eat breakfast?
Yes, I love breakfast. Breakfast is the best part of the day. It's the best meal of the day. And when I graduate, I'm having a graduation breakfast, not dinner.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
Good.
I don't always eat breakfast.
I know.
But breakfast is versatile because you can have breakfast at any time of day. People are like, you can't have breakfast at dinner. I'm like, you fucking can. What's stopping you?
No, breakfast is the best because no one looks sideways when you put ice cream on something. See,
Yeah,
lunch,
that's fantastic.
if you're eating a sandwich and you put ice cream, fucking, you get slapped. You're eating mince or pasta and you put ice cream on it, you get slapped. You're having dinner and you're like, I'll have a nice steak. You put ice cream on it, you get slapped. You're having pancakes in the morning, put ice cream on it. They're starting to eat your pancakes and you're like, you start slapping them because you want your ice cream pancakes. You can put it's just such the best.
I know you were trying to make a point there, but now I'm just hungry. Like,
True.
I could really go like have some pasta, some mince, like maybe a bit of sauce, like just get all like
See,
a bit of bolognese,
the
something
reason
like that.
why you're hungry now is because it is actually, is it just past 7? Holy
Yeah.
shit. I thought it was about 6:30 and in which most people would have dinner.
Oh, look
Except
at that.
for your
Would you?
society-defining fucking family. But
Yep.
fucking sure.
Our family has dinner pretty late, for those who do not know.
It's 9 o'clock and it's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm. It's usually earlier than 9 o'clock. It's like 8:45.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll retract my previous statement.
Um,
So they've got a plan.
Yeah. Well, Perry goes. Oh, before we do that, what's Perry doing? Why is Perry not made it to breakfast? He's gone down, hung out with Monogram, real quick. Entrance to his lair. Get a great lair entrance gag. He's got the pavements in their backyard, the little stepping stones. When you step on them, they make a sound. He has to play his theme song to unlock the door.
It's so
Doobie-dooba. It's fantastic.
And
And just one of them opens up and he falls down, easy peasy. So he goes down to Monogram. Monogram's like, so the good news is, the bad news is, you've been reassigned your nemesis.
No, you've got a new nemesis. He's better.
He's better. He's better. Now, first
He's
off,
more dangerous.
I get that Hines being pretty pathetic is a running joke in the show.
And also, Perry they need their best agent to
Work it, yeah, 100%. That's Perry. But I will not be personally. I don't tolerate Hines Doofenshmirtz slander. He is a fantastic man. I love him.
He is
love
a
him to bits.
fantastic man.
He is doing nothing but at the absolute worst removing nuisances. And I think that's honestly admirable. I would even define his actions as good. Because he's like, do you know what I'm going to get rid of? This one specific thing that annoys everyone. And I'm like, do you know if I had the money and the inventions to do that, I would be doing the exact same thing.
This
Are you
is
kidding?
completely understandable. Why is Elon Musk not already on top of this?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Where is our Doofenshmirtz? I want
exactly.
one.
Like, our actual billionaires are being like, I want to get rid of the things that annoy me, like unions. Whereas
Unions.
whereas
Or people
Doofenshmirtz
who
is
get
like,
underpaid.
yeah. Whereas Doofenshmirtz is like, I'm going to get rid of things that annoy me. Taxi driver fares. Pelicans. And
No one likes
no one likes Pelicans. If you
Get
like
rid of 'em.
Pelicans, write into the podcast so that we can mock you on air.
Yeah, if you like pelicans, please give me a
reason.
description and a reason. Like, I want to
Justify yourself.
justify your reason for liking
And then-
pelicans
We'll tell you how you're wrong.
because they're just a weird animal.
Yeah. But the good news is, Perry's getting relocated to a new family in the Quad State area.
So now he got the news mixed up there because he's like, it's bad news and it looks like a Texas redneck. The sort of family that votes for Donald Trump, and that's not the sort of family I want to be in.
They're the sort of
So-
family where you look at the sun and you're like, ooh, could I look at your family tree?
Incest.
And it's a bad situation for Perry, and he's got to change his nemesis.
And then
I'm
as
like,
he starts
"I'm about
leaving, he looks and he sees Phineas and they're like, oh
that."
no.
There's Perry and
we
his
love
eyes
Perry.
are wide, and he's got his little bag, and he looks at his dog bowl that he eats out of for some reason that
And
says
it says
Perry on
Perry,
it.
and
And he's like, I don't want to leave, but he leaves because
He is a good
he
agent.
works hard and he's a good agent. And let me tell you, the organization dicking him around by forcing him to move away from the people that he loves, because knowing that he'll do it because he's such a talented man, you should be respecting your workers.
See, this is why Tom Cruise would be the perfect for this role. If there's nothing that he doesn't want to be, it's honourable. He wants to be
Yeah.
that person that will do anything
He's an
for the
honourable
mission.
man.
Yeah. Anyway, so they have to leave. Phineas and Ferb, of course, are having their little heart attack. So they're like, you know what? We'll make a machine that gets every single platypus from Danville into their backyard
Easy peasy. And they're thinking Perry will come, and that'll be the end of it.
because
But
he's part of it.
no,
He's-
we got how many platypus showed up?
I wrote 56.
56 platypus just show up in their yard.
Australia has barely 56.
Yeah,
Where are they coming from?
I wouldn't be betting on Australia having 56 platypus. We've got, let me see, we've got the one on the $5 note in my room. We've got,
The one you saw, and
The
it's
one
the
that I
20-cent
saw.
piece that we've got platypus on. But yes,
okay, so if it's on 20-cent pieces, then we've got 3 in my house, plus the one in the zoo. So that's 4.
we've got 4.
We've got 4.
We can count 4, and they just
Definitively.
get 56. In
Where do they
Danville.
come from?
Not America doesn't have 56 platypuses.
America doesn't have any platypus. America barely has competent people.
Where are they getting the platypus from?
I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Just-
But
I feel like platypus is the sort of things that would live in Canada. Canada's a weird place.
Canada's a very cool place.
Yeah, have you ever
See,
seen
that was
how...
a joke because it's cold.
Very funny. Have you ever seen how big a moose is?
Yeah, they're quite large.
They are very large. I thought they were horse-sized. They're not
Have you
horse-sized.
seen
They
that?
are bigger.
You know why they have those antlers, right?
Why?
So they can attack each other.
I thought the purpose was flipping cars, to be honest.
The original car flippers, moose.
Hmm. They actually have, if you drive into like a workshop where they work on work on cars, then they just have 2 moose.
Yeah,
Like
they
two
don't,
meese
they
there.
don't bother with 2 meese.
2 moose.
2 mooses.
And they just like scoop up either side of the car and lift it up so they can do
And then
work
they just
underneath it.
hold it for
Yep.
the mechanic.
And they just chill.
They just chill. And then when they get sick of the mechanic, they drop it and just let them die because
As the world's foremost expert on
Mooses.
Canadian wildlife. We barely know anything about our own
No,
wildlife.
we know everything about the Australian wildlife. Everything we say on this, we should be, I take this back, we should be a documentary series on the Australian wildlife.
Seen through the lens of a children's cartoon.
No, just in general, like,
Just in general?
we're rebranding.
Righto, this is
The Australian Outback.
that's just a generic name.
It's probably already taken.
And why do we want to talk about the Australian outback? Everyone's like, the outback. It's like there's 3 animals out there, and I'm pretty sure 2 of them are fucking wombats, and no one cares anyway.
Wombats, yeah, they're kind of weird.
And Central Australia is a weird place. We've been there.
Wombats are like bears, right?
Yep.
But then you just kind of squish them into a ball.
And you take away all the deadly.
No, wombats can maul you.
Yeah, but the deadliest part of a wombat isn't the maulness. The deadliest part of a wombat is the fact that they are so dense. And I don't mean stupid, I mean physically dense.
Yeah, no, like, when I said
Because-
you get a bear and you squish it into a ball,
Same
you're not
mass.
Yeah, it's the same mass. It's
But in
still
a
like
smaller area.
I don't know how heavy a bear is, but it's the same weight as a wombat. And they just walk and waddle, and you're like, he doesn't
And-
look very happy. And then he jumps, and
Yeah.
then you can't get back up again.
Like, you hit a kangaroo in your car. Okay, you've totaled the front of your car. You're going to need to go get it worked out. It might even be a write-off. It can be pretty dangerous. You hit a wombat going down a straight highway at anything above 20 in like a triple trailer, like road train thing going through the
One
middle of
those
Central
vehicles
Australia.
That say heavy vehicle or long vehicle.
Or like have a
watch out,
little
they've got
escort.
those 2 cars
You
next to
hit one of those head on with a wombat, and let me tell you, the wombat will walk away.
it. You know, the car flips or the
Yeah.
truck flips.
You know the truck flip in The Dark Knight? They actually did that by just putting a wombat on the road
just
and then just
threw a
throttling,
wombat. And
throttling
then
the
it's
car.
just like,
Because they are so dense. They'll flip your entire car.
It's the trick to get any sort of car flip in a movie. Like, you think
put a
it's
wombat
they
down.
have like explosions in the certain sides or they have special ramps. No. You literally just get a wombat to sit there and then you drive head first at it and then your car will do a mad flip.
Do you know how they actually do those car flips, by the way?
Isn't it with mad ramps and little explosives?
They're not little explosives. They have like really compressed, like a piston, basically, that sits under the car just next to the wheel and just jacks it up. And now that you know that, when you're like watching movies, you'll be able to actually see where the piston goes off because it's always from one of the 4 wheels that it starts flipping. So for the one in The Dark Knight, they had wires on the side of it to help lift it up, and then they did the piston things which slam down against the ground and push it upwards on the 2 back wheels.
Nice.
And you can see how it starts to lift from the 2 back wheels before the wires come
All
out.
right, so in Phineas and Ferb, though,
Yeah, back to the point
Perry
of this
doesn't
podcast.
come. They keep just picking up wild platypus. Again, don't do this. And they're like, it's not this one. This one's too fat. This one's too skinny. This one's too blue.
this
This
one's
one's
French.
too orange. This one's French.
This one's just a duck with a beaver tail taped to it, which
who,
is like,
who would cut a beaver tail off and then stick it? to
that's a
duck?
bit mean, man.
It's a bit gross. Anyway, Doof goes over to the Regurgitator, the big villain called Regurgitator,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, you know what? I'm going to set this record straight. We're going to see, is he really that evil? Is he really that good? And he walks up to him, and the guy starts doing lightning stuff, and then he offers him an internship. And originally, Doof's like, an intern? I don't want to be an intern. Why would you want to be an intern? Not for this guy. It has maternity leave.
Sold.
Fucking
Easy.
gone. Like,
Can you imagine that being a thing that is surprising on a job?
yeah, when I first read that, I'm like, of course you should get maternity leave. If you're having a baby, you obviously can't work. And then I realized this is set in America, and I was like, oh, capitalism.
Gotta love that. I love how apolitical and chilled out our podcast is.
Yeah, we definitely don't have political feelings about anything. We are Outback Australia. And
Yep.
the only thing we discuss is Outback Australia.
And the point I was making before, by the way, with Outback Australia being a bad title is because most of our good animals are the ones on the coast. We got
When you say good,
shit. We got jellyfish. We got
they're not good. They'll kill you.
bottleneck. Yeah, but they'll all kill
They'll
you,
kill
Joseph.
you harder.
They will-
Bottlenecks will kill you harder.
Yeah, okay. A blue-ringed octopus is like the most
They'll
deadly.
kill you
That is
even
the
harder.
most. That is the most deadly. People are like, what's the deadly animal?
an
It's a
octopus.
kangaroo. It'll maul you to death. It's a stingray. It'll, moment silence. The point I'm making is, our deadliest and our coolest animals are usually like on the coast or slightly inland. They're not in Central Australia.
I think the only reason we think that is because that's where we live. Well, most of us live on the coastal area. And we just haven't discovered the cool and even more super dangerous animals in the centre.
Joseph, you've been to Central Australia.
I have
We went to
been.
Central Australia together. Do you remember standing on the plains in Uluru and
Yes.
just chilling out? You go up to the lookout and you're like, let's have a look around. And you start by looking at Uluru and you're like, wow, Uluru is really nice. You're like, what else can I look at? And you turn, you're like, wow, the Olgas are really nice. And then you turn and you realise that in every fucking direction as far as the eye can see, nothing exists. What animals are living in that? And where are they? Because there's no bushes for them to hide in, so you would be able to see them.
What if the animal was the flat landscape?
That makes no fucking sense.
The back of the animal is
It's a
that
giant turtle situation.
It's a giant turtle or dinosaur. It'd probably be a dinosaur. For us.
Probably.
And the Uluru was only like its spike popping out or something.
Uluru is the head.
No,
The head's in the middle of the shell.
because we would have.
It's a frilled neck lizard. Uluru is the face, and Australia is on the frill.
No. Can you imagine walking up Uluru? For starters, not anymore. But if you did, for starters, also, it's a tough walk. And then you look like you're up the top, and then you just look down, like directly top view of Uluru, and then the rock moves, and there's an eye.
I'm pretty sure. Where do I know that visual from? There's like there's a
Hobbit
show with that
And
visual.
the dragon and the gold.
Yeah, but no, because that's like just an IP. They're like on. Oh, Sinbad, children's animated TV show Sinbad. When I was a kid, they go on an island one time,
Yeah.
and they're like doing the whole thing, and then they like crack open a coconut or something. Like they do something stupid where they like accidentally hit a rock or whatever, and then like next to them, an eye opens up and it's all like sticky and gross.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
I'm-
really cool. You
You're,
got to
like,
watch Sinbad. It's a
standing
classic.
on Uluru and the eye just. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm still convinced that Central trip was just a simulation in that bus.
Why is that?
Because when we were looking out the window, for starters, the rumbles that we're feeling, very easily faked. I was like, this is...
So you're thinking it's a treadmill situation.
And then you look out, and it's just so, like, it's just a blue, it's just the
Nothing's
red.
changing.
And then
You
it's
look
just
down.
the same tree, literally like a repeated distance. And then the trees slightly change, and then they go back. And I'm so convinced, and it looked
You would drive
like
around in
a
circles?
TV screen. No,
Yeah.
I think we were just sitting there, and like we got onto the bus. They
'Cause you
drove us
look
to
down
they drove us to
and-
a shed.
Yeah.
And
And you
then they
look
just
down
turned
at the
on
side
the
of the
screens.
road and the red dots and all that stuff, and you look down and your eyes kind of glaze over and you realize that every individual detail is so the same every passing second that you can't definitively prove that you're moving, and if you look for too long, it gives you motion sickness.
Yeah. And I'm so convinced we're just in a simulation. They just drove us, did that. Then they have one fake Uluru that we climb. Like it's a real rock, but like it's in a fake situation. Anyway.
It's not like an actual, like I know what you mean. Yeah. I would believe that honestly because Australia seems pretty fake.
Yeah, we're so large yet we have no people. No, we're not large. We just don't have the space. The government's
New
been
Zealand.
lying to you.
No, that's a lie because
If
otherwise it would look
only
nicer.
We were in
It would look way
'Cause
nicer.
instead of red, it would be green, and there'd be lovely birds singing at you, and there'd be water, and you'd get the best ice cream in the world.
And there'd be kiwi birds, which are a fantastic animal.
Yeah, the little kiwis, they're actually way bigger than you think they are, by the way.
How big are they?
They're like, so do you know what, you don't know what American football size is. It's a bit bigger than that. They're quite
Use
large.
basketball for reference. I know how large
It's
those are.
about a basketball. Like,
Jeez,
they're
really?
actually big animals.
Damn.
They're not tiny. Have you seen an albino one?
No,
They're just white, and it makes no sense.
that's adorable.
You're like, you're not a polar bear. What are you doing? You're not meant to be white. What are you
what
doing?
are you doing there? What are you doing? See, that's an animal that won't kill you. That's an S-tier animal.
Yeah.
I'd pet
You
a
can
kiwi
just
bird.
look at it, and it will run away from you. That's
But
how
it's not.
animals should
It's also
act.
not like gross and annoying like brush turkeys are.
Yeah, here
It's
in the
actually
Australian Outback podcast, we discussed that Kiwis, the best animals, are ones that look at you, look cute, and then run the opposite direction. Not ones that don't look cute, look at you, realize you'd make a good meal, and then jump at you.
Yeah, and
like
then
every animal here.
and then sting you and inject venom / poison / barb / claws, etc., so on and
Yeah.
so forth, and just like put
It
it
will
through
either
your body,
make your internal liquids come out, or put its own internal liquids in, and that will kill you. Both will kill you.
That's a very good summary. Very well done. So
you.
anyway, back to the cursory tangent that we were talking about, which is the children's show called Phineas and Ferb.
Yes.
Some good lines from the regurgitator.
No, he's going into the... Oh, okay, good lines.
Yeah,
from
I've got some good lines.
yeah.
Firstly, Heinz goes to check out the situation, and he
Yep.
walks in and he asks the receptionist, "I'm looking for a Mr. the Regurgitator."
Good stuff.
Classic.
And the receptionist doesn't look to be real. Probably just an animatronic. Presses the button, goes down.
And goes down. When he lands on the bottom, he goes, "Ow, my hind tiny."
It needs a throw cushion. You have all this money. Where's my throw pillow? That comes back later as well. Anyway, he actually signs up for this internship. I was completely surprised by that. Like, I was like, oh, okay. And he's enjoying it. He's working hard. He's fallen into the capitalistic workplace of if you try hard, you might get promoted in 3 months. Classic. Usual thing that
you
we're all
won't get
doing.
promoted.
Am I
I was a month
Yes.
away from a promotion for 2 fucking years. It was great.
Yeah, I love that. It's almost like they do that to everyone. Wake up, people.
Wake up.
It's a fake society.
Us, a retail worker and unemployed person sitting in a sweaty booth talking about a show designed for people 10 years younger than him. That's where you get your professional advice from.
This
Can't
is...
trust anyone else.
Can't trust other information. We are the truth. Okay. So he signs up the internship, having an all right time. Then he totally screws it for the regurgitator, which I love, with the self-destruct button, the release
He's
button.
got to put a self-destructive button on
the
everything,
rocket
even
boots.
on an axe for some reason.
which is so good.
I love the axe.
And then regurgitator gets fired out because Perry escapes, and then he flies away.
I wrote specifically, Perry smashed it.
Perry does.
Perry was on top of it. He was like, I got to save Doof. He puts on the rocket boots and he flies out of there and he carries Doof with him and keeps him safe. And it's good stuff.
And then as he's flying away, he gets a message from Monogram saying, oh, by the way, Doof is now your nemesis again. Oh,
Do it.
post-production. Ooh, my never, 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 my never, never. Ooh, my never, never, never. Can you put that when I said nemesis, please?
You've got the soundboard. You're lying to the people, Joseph.
No, yeah, I'm not lying. You're going to fix it. Meanwhile, boys are still panicking a bit that Perry's gone.
Actually, before it cuts back to there, he drops Doofenshmirtz and Doof lands
Immediately.
on a throw pillow.
And he's like, you guys do it right. And they're like, hell yeah, they
We
do.
love to see
Also,
it.
Perry just straight up drops him. He's flying and he's just like, yeah, cool.
He's got the throw pillow. He knows it's going to be all good.
It can die. It's
Yeah.
fine. Phineas and then Ferb are like, right, we're going to have a massive little music festival on the top of a building.
It's
did
it's
that? What
you
was the
two.
band? You two did that.
Yeah, they did that. They
did a
played,
pop-up concert.
Oh, what's the song with the delay guitar?
Didn't they stop the traffic and everything? People
Yeah,
just
they
stopped
like
their cars
they
just to
ruined
watch?
everything, and then they got taken down midway. Hold on, I'm googling which song they did because they did it for a music video, and they held this awesome concert.
But they also did it because that's cool.
Because they played "The Streets Have No Name," which is such a good song.
And they're doing it on the streets.
Yeah, which was really cool.
It is clever. And in the background, all the clouds are shaped like Perry and detailed like Perry. So they just made a reshaping cloud device that reshaped them into Perry's
Well,
face.
you've got to get that nice music video visual.
Imagine if U2 had reshaped the clouds as well.
That would be a top tier hit. It would have more than the 47 million views that it
Only
currently has.
47 million.
Yeah, it really should have more. That's a
It
classic
should have
music video.
more. And like they went to a lot of effort.
Like they did, and also that was just that was a really cool music video.
So on to the next one.
Yeah, real quick, I'll just chuck some things in there. In the song, not only is it an absolute banger, but we get Isabella on bass, Jeremy on the tambourine. Love to see it.
I love me some Jeremy.
They're playing their guitar chords, and then Isabella comes in. You get that funky like doom doom
And she
on
like
the bass.
plugs it in during the. Don't do that, but she plugs it in during.
Yeah, no, that the sound engineer in me that hurt a little bit because you got to set gain levels and you got to be prepared. You got to have your effects on. You got to
Yeah, and also you
everything
get
all
the
set up, you
noise
don't
of
plug
the
it in.
click, which is you don't really want. But
yeah, exactly.
if you can make it work like Isabel can, you can fucking smash it.
Oh yeah,
And
because
she
once she
does.
starts playing the bass, you forget about all that because it's like bass, good
Bass.
instrument.
All right, so Swiss family, Phineas, the Swiss family, no, Phineas's family, the Flynns, they've gone onto their yacht boat called the HMS Lindana, which again,
Very sweet.
that's such a good name. Though you'd get the worst jokes from if it was an actually dad joke and a slightly more adult version, be like, we're riding on Lindana. Anyway, it goes south when there's a huge storm because they read it on the flags, which is kind of, again, funny. And then they get stranded on an island together. And Candace is having a skits because she's
Now.
going to Mrs. Jeremy's party.
Yes, gotta miss Jeremy's party, and that's
Which
a tragedy. I love how Candace's motivation is real consistent, though. We love to see it.
I like Jeremy. That
And
is
fair enough, that is a good motivation. That's motivated this entire podcast so far. So
pretty much.
Speaking of Candace, and the whole this episode, this is a really good time to bring up this. As I mentioned earlier, this is the episode where they start getting some running jokes in. Not just they've got running jokes obviously, but this is the one where they start in earlier episodes setting it up, and then in later episodes paying it off in like in a more linear way. It's a transition away from the episode of the week stuff.
Right. Tell me which ones.
So firstly, Ferb swimming with the dolphins, which is a nice callback to him being able to speak
Yes.
dolphin.
Which we also realised that because we said back then that he was raised by dolphins.
Yes.
So I've written down that he's just catching up with the fam.
Yeah, just having a good
Just
time.
having a good
catching
little
up.
reunion,
Bit
bit
of
of a
catch up.
swim, bit of a.
That's
Oh,
a
good.
deep cut joke. When did we make the dolphins joke? That was like early season 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it was
like
a while ago.
season. It was the Hard Day's Night and
iRobot.
iRobot. Yeah, which is like episode like 5 or 6.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago. So yeah, for the new listeners, Ferb's a dolphin, and no, we're not going to give context.
Yeah. Ferb was raised by dolphins. That's why he can't talk.
And
Well, he doesn't talk much.
more running jokes. We get to see what big laundry meant. Because Doof had a to-do list, and he was like, and I've got all these things written on here, and I've got one that says big laundry on the to-do, and I don't know what that is. You know?
Yeah. When was that joke made?
That was made in the one with the
Oh,
lifeguarding, Mount
With-
Nosy.
Yeah, like with Lake Nosy.
Yep.
With the thing, and he's looking for it, and he's got big laundry. I still can't remember.
Pays off later
Pays
in
off
this
here.
episode.
That's good. I
And-
like that.
In the same way, they start doing stuff from the theme song. Give a monkey a shower. They give a monkey a shower in this
Yep.
episode.
It's actually really good.
And similarly, they set up a joke because they are talking to Candace.
Yes.
And Candace is like, instead of building this beautiful house, because they're stranded, they build a beautiful house, of course.
Yeah,
what
well,
else
their
they gonna
dad
do?
are. We've got to probably give some.
Okay, give them
they
context,
They
yeah.
get stranded. Dad's like, Mum and I are going to build the boat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fair. You haven't done this sort of thing before, but sure. Okay, cool to see. Candace, you look for some food, and the boys, why don't you try and find us some shelter? Like, he isn't
right.
very hopeful, but just like, get us something to
Get
put
us
over our
something.
head.
And the boys are like,
They're like,
You
okay,
fool.
this looks good. Let's build a giant treehouse.
as you do.
As you
do.
would.
And Candace gets in there and she looks around. She's like, why couldn't you have built a bridge home? Why couldn't you have built a coconut hovercraft that can fly us back? And they're like, well, Dad didn't ask us to
No,
do either of
Dad-
those things. Dad
Dad
asked us to make
build
shelter.
shelter.
And
That's
she's
what
like,
we
why
did.
didn't you build a slingshot that can slingshot us back? And they're like, that's pretty good.
That's a good one. We're going to hold on to that. That's a little one we're going to use for
And-
later.
Later, on the longest day of summer episode, they're stranded on an island. And what do they do to get back? Giant slingshot.
It's good stuff.
It's set
Have
up and
we
pay off.
already done that episode?
No, definitively. Because I'm really excited to talk about that episode because it's got a weirdly like kind of problematic thing going on with Bajit's family,
Right. Okay.
and it's a two-parter as well. It definitely wasn't season 1. I'm pretty sure it's season 3. Could be
all
wrong
right. It could be the end of season 2.
Wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, they're setting up and paying off, and I love to see that. You know,
It's very good.
very well done.
They make the wonderful shelter. They use crabs, and the bit that Candace falls out of, he makes another great line where he's just like, "We're waiting on some parts. That's why there's not a hot tub there." And I'm like, "It's so good." They're stranded on an island.
But they're gonna get parts brought in, but they're not gonna get away.
no, they
That's
weren't asked
mum.
to
That's
do that.
mum and dad's job.
Mum and Dad said they're going to build the boat. They're going to build the boat. We're just going to, build a
Just gonna
huge
set-
house
build
to
a-
live
yeah,
here.
Just build they're just gonna live there forever. I would just personally compare the old house to the one they've got set up there. I'd honestly just live on the island.
Yeah, until a huge volcano that Doof set up gets exploded and
Laundry volcano.
the
Yeah. Do
laundry volcano.
you want to talk about Doof's plan?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a pretty good plan.
Yeah. It's
He's going to offer a service that someone you can pay to do, a
Mm-hmm.
laundromat, for free.
Yep.
And whenever anyone does that, it doesn't go well.
Mm.
But anyway, he's going to do it for free, not because economics or because he's sick of laundromats because they cleaned it wrong or something like that. No, because he wants the spots. He wants to buy where they're staying
to make an evil school.
to make an evil school. There is so much lost money going here.
Yeah, this is a lot of effort. Although I do like how the evil school says it can train you in like arson.
6
and
weeks to get an
6
arson
weeks.
degree or your something or other
Or
degree.
something degree, or a degree in Ponzi schemes. Do you know what
Nuts.
Ponzi scheme is?
No.
It's using money from new investors from like new people that invest in your company to convince old people in your company that the company's doing well.
Oh.
So like you get a
evil,
new
yeah.
investor and you take the $100 and you turn to the other investor and you're like, look, the business made $100. These stocks are worth it. You're going to buy more, right? And the other
And then
investor's
they
like,
invest
yeah.
more, yeah.
And then you take that investment money and you just turn around and be like the other investor and you're like, look, it's making money and so on and so forth. It's a feedback loop. And
Nice.
it's very illegal.
But you know what he could also do? Just walk up to the laundromat and offer them whatever money he was using to make the huge laundry volcano, and then just buy it.
Buy a laundromat. Yep.
You just buy the laundromat.
Or better yet, just use other real estate.
Yeah, but no, it'd have to be prime real estate. It's those locations.
Laundromats are pretty prime real estate because you got to put them in a convenient spot, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Or he could just make a machine to get rid
It's
of
very
them.
small for a school, though. Laundromats aren't
True.
large.
6 weeks is very small for a qualification.
Touche. Then again, I've done my alcohol license, and that took me a day. So, you know,
And that took me 2, 3, 6 hours.
yeah, it was very boring though. I'm glad it
I
didn't go for
also
longer.
have done my RSA.
Oh, RSA sucks.
It's all right.
I mean, it's worth it because you get to serve drinks in bars and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like they could have just said, don't serve alcohol to a drunk person.
Yeah.
And it would have been done.
There's two things you learn. Don't serve alcohol to a drunk person. Check someone's ID, and if they're under 18, kick them out.
Oh, yeah, and don't serve
I-
alcohol to underage.
Yeah, and I'm of the opinion that if you're stupid enough to be working at a bar and not do those two things, you probably shouldn't have gotten the job. And
Yeah,
that's on your employer.
That's why the RSA is there. Also, if a bar doesn't offer free water, they can be hit with a $20,000 fine. It's the largest fine they can be hit with. And I
quite
was
cool.
like,
I mean,
that's
I
cool.
support it. I like having free water available. I guess, like, you know, I feel
No,
like there's
it's-
things that
it's
should be
very
like it's a big fine, but I also think that it's a deserved fine because, you know,
Yeah, no,
it's useful. It's good to be able to have a drink of water.
you want to encourage
Mm-hmm.
responsible drinking.
And also, I feel like when you're in a restaurant setting, you want to have a drink of water, and restaurants like forcing you to buy a bottle of water every time you want a drink is just a really sleazy way of making money because it's just bottled water. Like,
Yeah, I
If
I
it's-
don't think it's to do with the money. It's to do with like-
it's to do with getting drunk and not balancing it out. But also, most restaurants offer free water, and I think that's pretty good too. Like,
well, yeah. If you serve
I feel like
alcohol,
there's
you
a
have to have
regulation
free
there, right?
water.
Yeah, but if you don't serve alcohol,
Yeah, well, you look like a shitbag company if you don't have water.
yeah, exactly. You know, good on them.
All right, neat. Anyway, so it was the longest day of the summer, and that's about all I've written down.
Yeah, so I've got a couple notes. Meanwhile, the Baji
Oh, Baji.
and Buford are looking after Perry.
And
I really like this. This is the first time we've gotten Baji and Buford independent of everyone else.
Well, we've done all the bullying sort of jokes that they're kind of independent of.
Yeah, but that was like they're individual jokes. They're still going on adventures. We've
And
had
Buford does the what you doing thing, which is
Yeah.
good.
It's very cool, and I think it's cool to give these characters some play. I like that they're exploring options like that.
And Baljeet calls Platypus a monotremes.
We love to see
Calls
it.
Perry a monotreme, which is how it should be. He is
Mm-hmm.
not a mammal. He's not a beaver. He is a monotreme,
There is two monotremes in the world. It's the platypus and the echidna,
both of which live here.
both of which are fantastic.
Welcome to the Outback
Also-
Australia podcast.
Welcome back to the Outback Australia podcast. Which one's the deadly animal? You've got cute beaver duck-looking thing
with
with
a
a duck
spike
bill.
on its poison barb thing, yeah.
No. We're describing. It's the joke was I was going to describe the platypus as friendly, and the echidna as a small ball of spikes because that's what it is. It's like a ball of like thick, deadly spikes that walks around destroying cars. Which one's the friendly one? And of course, the joke was going to be it's the echidna because echidnas are fantastic.
No, neither of them are friendly.
An echidna won't attack you.
Yeah, but like you don't want to touch it.
I've pat an echidna before. It's very cute.
Yeah, but like apart from the spikes, it doesn't really have that many other like deadly things, so it's not going to attack you.
Yeah, and it's just chilling, and it's very calm. It doesn't like be running around all the
I
place.
think it's
It doesn't
more
attack
scared
you.
and timid.
Yeah, it's a very timid
you know
animal.
What scare animals? You know
And-
what scared animals will do?
What?
Attack you. So don't go near it.
Don't get but when you pat the spikes the other way, like the way that isn't the way that they're facing, then they're actually quite like
Yeah,
nice.
they are basically just a hedgehog on steroids.
Yeah,
Take that how you will.
yeah, exactly. That Sonic is almost definitely an echidna. I know that
Nice.
Knuckles the echidna exists, and I know he's supposed to be a hedgehog, but like an echidna that big, like a hedgehog that big, he's probably an echidna.
Yeah, it's the size that worries me, not the blue color. Blue's normal.
Oh yeah, well yeah, everyone knows that echidnas
The
are blue.
super speed, perfectly normal.
Echidnas aren't blue,
But they're
rainbow.
not that big. You've got them there, Lachlan.
I've got them there.
You got the Sonic hedgehog designers. You're like, I like it, but hedgehogs aren't that big.
Hedgehogs aren't that big. You
I
stupid
can't-
designers.
You idiots.
Sure, hedgehogs can run 600 kilometers an hour,
Sure, they're blue,
but can they? Are they that big?
but
I don't
are
think
they
so.
that big?
And also, what hedgehog's out here wearing shoes? Everyone knows echidnas wear red sneakers. That's part of echidnas, you know.
That's part of who they
Like
are.
you run over an echidna with your car accidentally,
And
and
you
it
see the
explodes
red
into a ball
shoes.
of spikes and destroys your entire car, and all that's left is the little red shoes.
Yeah, and you know it was the echidna and not a wombat because of the red shoes.
Yeah, well, you know if it was a wombat.
Because your car would flip.
um,
I've only got
Another-
one more line to end it. What about you?
oh yeah, I've got a couple of things. Candace is like freaking out, and she's like, "I'm never gonna make it back to see Jeremy, and then we're never gonna fall in love, and then I'm gonna have to marry a monkey so that I can have my kids named
no, I'm
Amanda."
gonna have a monkey kids.
And
and
have
they're gonna-
monkey kids named Amanda or whatever the fuck the other one was. and the dad comes over and goes, "And we'll love them anyway."
I love him. He's so good. He's so supportive. She's having this total mental breakdown, and he's just like, "But no matter what happens, Candace, we're gonna love you and your ugly monkey children." It's so good.
A supportive father, we love to see it.
Imagine having a father.
I know you make that joke
Like, all the
every
time.
opportunity, but it never gets old. I still laugh.
I love it. It's so good. You do it at like work and like to people you've never really met before, and they're just like, "How do I react?" And I'm like, "You've reacted perfectly. I'm just gonna sit here."
The
and
reason
laugh."
I said it was so that you'd do that.
Yeah, and they're like, but I have a father, and I'm like, I know. That's why it's funny.
Another line. Oh, another thing. We get a island version of the Quirky Worky song.
Yeah, I still prefer my old thinking song.
Yep, but I like the variation. It's good. One more line from Phineas when he's showing Candace around the house. He goes, "There's surviving, and then there's living."
Oh, what an entrance.
What an entrance.
You know, Grand Designs would have a lot more viewers from the younger audience if every single episode he walked in and he's like, "Now they're surviving." And then he turns into this huge house, and then there's living. I'd be down.
I'd 100% down. Phineas would be a great, like,
If real-
co-host for
or
Grand
even
Designs.
a real estate agent. He could
Yeah,
just walk
100%.
around and be like, "There's living."
If
There's
Phineas walked
surviving.
me into a house and was like, "This is the place to be," I'd be like, "I trust you, small orange-haired triangle boy."
Yeah, that nothing says honest like triangle heads.
Yeah, exactly. It means his brain is triangle as well, and that means honesty.
And my final joke to end it
Is the song.
No? Oh, Carl.
You forgot, yeah.
I didn't forget it, but
You
I've got
forgot
something
this song. Carl, he knows what all these buttons do.
He's Carl.
It's a great variation. That's another song variation. Perry the Platypus's theme, but it's Carl.
Carl. I do like it.
Nice.
And they
It's
don't even
fantastic.
call Carl to go stop Doof. That's what I totally thought was happening.
Yeah, I thought that it was going to be like this great interaction where Doof opens the door and he's like, "Oh, I was expecting a platypus, but instead I got a human being here to foil me. They clearly don't care about me anymore."
Yeah,
They sent
something
the
like
intern.
that.
They didn't even
And
send
he's
Monogram
like,
himself.
Carl, I didn't hope it would come to this.
But I'm
here
sending you
are.
out there
And we're like, oh my
to
God.
fight evil. And you're like, "Oh my God,
Carl's going to do it.
Carl's going to actually fucking do something."
No, he's getting in an ice cream truck so he can distract the boys so Perry can go and do his job.
Very in character.
Very, very in character. And then my final line is in actually in the first adventure when he's with Monogram. Perry goes down with Monogram, and then Carl makes a joke, and then Monogram doesn't laugh, and Carl's like, "You laughed last time." He goes, "It was a pity laugh." Nice.
Nice.
It was a pity laugh. And then "The World Is My Nemesis" by The Regurgitator. I'm going to use that more often. Ooh, my nema, 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 my nema, nema. Ooh, my nema, nema, nema. The world is my nemesis.
That song is never going to get old.
Yeah, and it sums up my complex relationship with the world,
Mm-hmm.
which is good and bad, but
Yeah.
kind of still there.
Yeah, the world's your nemesis. It feels good to have the soundboard back, doesn't it? Because we can.
You said nemesis. Ooh, my nema, nema, nema.
We've got so many good things. Like we've got, I'll have to see it. We've still got this loaded for some reason.
Okay.
Well, 'cause there's no reason to get rid of it.
I mean, yeah, it's good. It's useful.
We've
We've
used it like twice.
classic.
Doobie doobie dooba doobie doobie dooba.
I never noticed before the panning on those drums in the start of that is fantastic. That grooves. That is a good song.
We need to wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up and get out of this hot, sweaty booth.
I've had a nice time. You've had a nice time.
Nice time. Let's
You know
plug some
how
socials.
else you can have some good times? You can go on our Instagram.
Oh, beautiful. I'd like to shake your hand. That was very well done.
Yep, I had that set up.
You're
Yep,
all over
no,
this
no, no.
podcast business.
Yep.
So the Instagram is Implications of Phineas and Ferb.
You want to do something else cool? Go to YouTube. Watch it on YouTube.
Watch it on YouTube.
Why not?
We've
Just
got
make
it.
it
Yeah,
cool.
it's easy.
Add
Apparently,
a comment.
yeah, chuck a comment in there. Chuck us a cheeky like. Maybe chuck a subscribe. Hit the bell notification. We're YouTube.
God,
now.
I hate myself.
Yeah,
for saying
same.
that.
Just chill
That's
out to everything.
disgusting.
Follow us
Sorry,
on Twitter.
YouTubers, you have an honest career, and that's something that comes part of it. But
Yeah.
soon we'll have NordVPN. That's going to be so
NordVPN.
good. We can't say anything because they haven't paid us.
Yeah, no, NordVPN is a shit company.
No,
I will
no, you
take that
can't
back.
say
Okay, I can't say that. I'm sorry.
You can't say anything about any company until we're paid.
Okay,
Like,
I'm just gonna cut.
negative
I'll
or
cut this
positive.
entire bit, or I won't.
You can cut the bit where I start getting angry because that's funny.
You can hit us up on the Twitter
Yep.
of _Ferb because we couldn't
_Ferb.
fit the whole thing, so
Well,
we
we
just kept
typed
the last bit. Yep.
implications of Ferb, and then it's like, oh, you mean of Ferb, and I'm like,
Close enough. Righto. So yeah, add us on Twitter. That's a great way to get in contact because it's very easy for us to see, and I spend most of my time on there. And
yeah, and Reddit.
yep, are we still plugged on the Reddit?
Well, technically, it's still there.
Yeah, righto. Hit us up
I
on the
don't
Reddit.
look at any social media except Snapchat, and I'm not making a Snapchat for this.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
That's
Right, well,
going to be rough.
hit us up on the Reddit if you want to. Can't guarantee that we'll reply. But if you also,
If
but
you
the
really want to
Gmail's
get
the way
in
to go.
contact with us on Reddit, upload something to prequel memes and get it on top, and then I'll see it.
Oh, we'll see it
We'll
definitively.
see it for fucking sure.
All right, that's the episode.
I know
Good
what
to
we've
see
done
you
today.
all. I know what we've done
Fuck
today.
'em.